I love being in the outdoors, just spending time, whether it's in some far-off place or in my own backyard. Hi, I'm Joel Strickland, and you know, a lot of people have many different names for the outdoors. Nature, creation. My favorite is God's country. Imagine that. Well, on today's show, we're going to take you to a place that people often think of when they hear the words God's country.
What a great day.
When I think about God's country, I think about a sunrise. That big, gigantic ball out there on the horizon.
You just stop and you really think about, where did that come from? How did that get so beautiful?
God's display of beauty is so impressive. When I'm in the outdoors, I just try to take it all in.
You realize that you're in God's country. What could be more perfect?
When I go on an elk hunt or when I go on a deer hunt or whatever I'm doing, I'm always looking at what is there. Is it big redwood trees? Is it scenic views of the ocean? Is it just beautiful forest with creek bottoms and wild turkeys that gobble and all that stuff? That's the kind of thing that excites me, and when you say God's country, that's what I think about.
It's not about taking a buck or taking my bag limit. It's about experiencing God's creation.
So many people miss out on the joy of being out in the outdoors and getting a taste of what I've got to enjoy all my life. I truly look at every opportunity I get to be in the outdoors as a gift from God.
Anytime you can be outdoors and experience God's creation and have the freedom to do it is a great day.
Just being there is very, very special.
I think that's when I feel the closest to God. I mean, I don't know, you feel so close to Him. It's amazing. I mean, just feel like you're right there next to Him.
When I think about God's country, I do think of Alaska. I think of that place that's the last untamed frontier, the place where you can literally walk for hundreds of miles and never step in a footprint that's been made by man.
I really love going to Alaska. It's one of my most favorite places on the planet to go to. I've been getting to go there just about every year for probably the last 8 or 9 years. And every time I go, it's a very unique experience. But what's so impressive about Alaska, no matter what part of it you go to, it's mostly wilderness. Places that there's not very many people, if any, for miles and miles and miles. It's all very remote. You have to fly in or go by boat to get there. When I describe Alaska to people, the word I like to use is big. I mean, yeah, the state's big, but just standing there and looking out, everything just seems so much bigger. It's hard to describe it any other way. Great Days in God's Country, sponsored by Great Day, making great days in the outdoors. Wind floaters from Great Day are feather-light natural fibers that float along with wind currents, following every up or down draft, accurately tracing the wind's path. You can use them from ground level or from a tree stand. Whether in a strong wind or in that almost undetectable breeze, you'll know where to place your tree stand, know how high to hunt, and know how to time your shots. Look for wind floaters at your favorite retailer or at GreatDayInc.com.
Pretty bad at hunting deer.
Attention hunters, the 3-CD set from Bad Bob and Jimmy. Over 30 tracks of hilarious, funny hunting songs. Songs like
He's brown, he's down.
And
Got a brand new deer stand.
and of course,
'Cause I hunt deer in posted places.
get yours today at funnyhuntingsongs.com or call the number on your screen. That's funnyhuntingsongs.com.
Southeast Alaska is where I've been going to bear hunt for a number of years now. We've been hunting just outside of Ketchikan. That's where we fly into, hunting with Sam Dalen with Dalen Charters. In the area around Ketchikan lives some of the largest black bears anywhere found in the world, both in body size, the skull measurements for as far as Boone and Crockett and Pope and Young.
Late May and the first part of June, the grass and all the tidal flats is green, and then they'll come down and basically graze on the grass, on the green grass. They will too go down below the tide line, and you'll see them flipping over rocks looking for crabs and eels, or scraping mussels and barnacles off either rocks or dead trees. They'll scratch those off and munch on them.
And the method that we hunt is spot and stalk. We're not hunting with bait. And so the way we do it there is we use a boat for the most part to scout an area. There's a lot of bays, streams, and that sort of thing that we can run a real small boat up into, scout for a long way away. Then when we see the bears, we'll get as close as we think we can with the boat, and then we stalk up to them. A couple of years ago, Sam called me and asked me if I would mind coming up and videotape him on a hunt. Well, I love going to Alaska, so I couldn't pass up that opportunity. Even though I didn't have a tag, I was still really, really excited about getting to go with him. Worked out really nice. The first afternoon, we saw a really nice bear. We tried to get set up on him, but before we could, the bear went back into the woods. The next day we were out kind of putting around in the boat looking for bears, and we came across the same spot that we'd seen the bear the afternoon before, and that bear was out again.
I believe it was the same bear in the same general area.
We'd looked over the area the afternoon before and found a good way to get to the bear, so we decided to go ahead and try to set up on him again. This bear was feeding on the grass along the shore, and he just fed along very, very slowly, so it gave us plenty of time to kind of get into position.
We got set up on a rock where he was feeding on grass, and just kind of waited for him to give us the shot.
The bear was a pretty good ways out. We felt like that the bear was going to come back the way he came and kind of go back in the woods further up to the left. The longer we waited and the longer we waited, the more we were afraid that if we didn't try to take a shot at it, we might not get him.
A little further than I normally take, but it felt pretty confident in it with the rest and everything, and the amount of time I had to prepare for it.
Sam's a very confident long-range shooter, and so it was no problem for him to take the shot.
You know, made a good shot on him, and he was, you know, a nice bear.
Some blood.
Yep, here we go. Little blood there, little blood there. Here we go. This is the first bear I've taken in a couple of years up here. I guess I killed one 2 years ago in the fall with my bow, but haven't really had an opportunity since. Had a couple days to kill here and looking at a new area. Decided to take one.
It's the Plot Pro spraying systems from Great Day. The Plot Pro spraying system is a revolutionary solution to small-scale spraying, ideal for use around the farm, ranch, business, home, or hunting lease. The Plot Pro units are designed to conveniently strap to an ATV rack or mount to the cargo beds of a UTV or a truck. The Plot Pro is a complete system, including the corrosion-proof polyethylene tank, a choice of 1.8 or 2.8 gallon per minute SureFlow pump, the amazing Boominator boomless spray tip, and a sturdy metal adjustable hand wand. The single boomless tip delivers coverage up to 25 feet wide, eliminating the need for awkward booms that are difficult to maneuver in close areas. Great Day offers Plot Pro systems with 15, 25, or 40 gallon tank sizes. So if you have the need for small scale spraying, get the Plot Pro spraying system from Great Day.
It's a lot of fun for me to take people on new experiences. One year I got to take my good friend Hank Parker Jr. to Alaska. It was his very first trip to Alaska.
I've never been bear hunting. I've never been to Alaska. It was something totally different. I've wanted to go to Alaska for a long time.
So this was going to be a really, really exciting trip for he and I both.
And we drive up to this pier, and he's got a boat, a big boat out there, and he's like, there's where we're gonna be for the next 10 days. The boat is really nice. This is a really big cabin cruiser boat, good sleeping quarters. Who's your first mate, me or Joe?
That didn't leave me much to work with.
I was the greenhorn of the ship.
So we left Ketchikan that afternoon in Sam's boat and took probably about a 3 or 4 hour boat ride out of town to find a spot where we were going to anchor for the night. The boat's kind of our base camp, so we can take the skiff and kind of putz around, you know, pretty close proximity to where our main boat is anchored, and it makes for a really good operation.
We watched this bear for quite some time, but we decided to pass on this bear. We see a bear in the distance. He's out, he's feeding, and so we start trying to work our way there. We get out of the boat, we're super quiet with the anchor, trying to be quiet. The wind's good.
The terrain out here is very, very strange. It's deceiving when you look at it, both on the video and in real life. It looks like a gigantic pasture, but what you don't notice is that there's really, really big dips. And when I say big dips, I'm talking like, 10, 12 feet sometimes.
So we get about where we feel like we need to be, about 200 yards away, bear's gone. So we sit there, and we sit there, and we sit there, and we're thinking, when's this bear gonna come back out? Well, he doesn't never come back out. So we just leave. Walking through the marsh in the hip waders. We get all the way back to the boat, turn around, and the bear's back. So here we go again. Start going down there. We cross the creek and we cross really a large stream that comes down from the mountain. Get on the other side of it and get set up. And the grass was just high enough and there was enough rolling hills. It was really hard to see the bear. But the bear kind of worked its way up on a hill. Gave me a perfect shot opportunity, and it was so extremely thick in the woods. I really didn't want a bear to run very far if he's going to run at all. I don't know. But the bear fell in its tracks, and I was really relieved at that, and I was really excited to get my first bear in Alaska. I'm ready to just kind of like run down there and see what I've got. But we work our way down there. I stayed ready.
Look at here. Yeah, that's what we couldn't see. It kind of fell in that little grassy hole.
Look at this bear.
Pretty one. Go ahead and tap it there. I don't think it's going anywhere.
I ain't going nowhere. Look at that. Yeah.
Well, your gun all clear?
Oh yeah, good. Check that out, man. That is beautiful.
Good, good. That nice hair all the way down to the paws on the front.
This is super, super neat. There's not very many times I'm speechless, but
I've noticed.
That was a different, this was a total different thing than what I was expecting. And you know, this is my first bear.
Pretty bad at hunting deer.
Attention hunters, the 3 CD set from Bad Bob and Jimmy. Over 30 tracks of hilarious, funny hunting songs. Songs like
He's brown, he's down.
And
Got a brand new deer stand.
And of course,
'Cause I hunt deer in posted places.
get yours today at funnyhuntingsongs.com or call the number on your screen. That's funnyhuntingsongs.com.
It's the Power Loader from Great Day. Load your big buck, firewood, sacks of feed, or ice chests. The Power Loader turns a 2 or 3 man job into a single-handed task. At the push of a button, the patented telescopic lifting arms of the Power Loader moves loads up to 250 pounds from ground level to locked and loaded, ready for transport. Get the maximum benefit of your ATV with the amazing Power Loader from Great Day.
Great Days in God's Country, sponsored by Great Day, making great days in the outdoors. So as soon as we finish recovering Hank's bear, we get him loaded in the boat, start heading back to the big boat with him. We look out and there's another bear out on the flat right across from us, probably about 600 or 700 yards away. Sam says, "You want to shoot him?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to shoot him. Let's hurry and get back to the boat so I can get my bow." Well, there wasn't time for that. It was a 30-minute boat ride to get there, another 30 minutes back, and we probably had at best 45 minutes of light left. This presents a pretty big dilemma for me because I'm a bow hunter. I'm not a gun hunter. In fact, I've never shot a big game animal with a rifle before. Now I have a decision to make. Do I want to try for this bear using Hank's gun,
or hold out for the next day or two hoping it's not going to rain and be able to take one with my bow. Well, I'm not coming all the way to Alaska and not getting my bear. So with all the odds of everything in play, the decision I decided for was I'm going to take the gun and I'm going to do something that I've never done before, try to shoot a bear with a gun. So we putted the boat up to probably about 250 or 300 yards out. And then we crept along the beach till we got to this big log that was laid out across the ground there, and it actually made a perfect rest to shoot from. I got up there, ranged it. The bear was probably, I think it was like 80 yards away, so it wasn't very far, just feeding along the beach right there. And I was really pretty nervous, to be honest with you, because Hank Jr. was running my camera. Hank's got quite a bit of experience running a little camera, but I was using my great big giant HD camera, and so I was just kind of really concerned that he was going to actually pull it off. So I kept looking back behind me and making sure, you got it? You know, I asked Sam, you know, is he on?
Sam, he's looking at me, he's like, are you good? Are you on the bear? And I'm shaking and I've got everything messed up. I'm like, yeah, fire the hole, you know? And I'm like, I better hold this camera steady.
Sweet.
I got him on video, at least.
Did you hear the big avalanche when you shot?
No.
It was crazy.
Sam, this has been an awesome hunt. I mean, I've hunted with you for several years now, got to see some really neat places. We've been to different locations every time I've been with you.
I think we've been to a different area of Southeast Alaska here every time you've been up.
So now I've taken a big game animal with a muzzleloader, which is something I've never done before. This bear was a great bear. He squared about 7 foot 5 inches, just a huge, huge bear. It's so great to have new experiences, and this is definitely a trip that I'll never forget to Alaska.
See all the bald eagles, and see the seals, and see the bears, and just to take it all in was really a lot of fun for me. It was really something I've wanted to do for a long time. Just being able to see all those things and to have such a great hunt with such a great guy, Sam. He really puts on a great hunt. He's an outdoorsman, and he's got nice equipment. It is a hunt that I would suggest to anyone who's thinking about going to Alaska on a black bear hunt. He does blacktail hunts, he does fishing guides. He's a well-rounded outdoorsman. The whole thing was just a lot of fun and a tremendous success.
And that day was definitely a great day in God's country. I really love going to Alaska. In fact, it's one of the very first places that I think of when I hear the words God's country. If you've never been, I really hope you'll try to go sometime. It'll be an experience that you'll never forget. Well, we're out of time for this week's show. We're so glad you joined us for Great Days in God's Country. Special thanks to my friends Sam and Heather Dalen in Ketchikan, Alaska. We'll give you their information in just a moment. Well, until next time, I'm Joel Strickland. Thanks for joining us. God bless, and make it a great day.
Be sure and like us on Facebook. And check us out on the website at greatdaysingodscountry.com. And be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube.